Hi, my name is Jeff Patterson. I'm assigned to Engine 44 C shift. I've been on the department now a little over 8 years. I was late to the party. I came on at 34, kind of late in life, and was looking for something a little more fulfilling, something exciting, with no 2 days being the same. And that's what led me to the Dallas Fire Department. My wife and I live in Dallas, in East Dallas. We have 2 kids. On May 3rd, 2014, started off like any other Saturday at the station. I had left the house that morning. My son had a baseball game around noon, 1 o'clock, I think, on that Saturday. And so I went to the station, and it just started off just as a typical day for us on a Saturday. We would, had done our chores, done the yard, done our stuff around the station, and I had taken some AI to go to my son's game around 12, from 12 to 2. And it was a nice, early spring Saturday. Nothing unusual about it. Pretty quiet that morning. The box came in, I think, around 6 o'clock. It was still daylight, and it was in 32's first up. So we were head down military, and, I think at that point, I think we could see the smoke, and we knew that, I think 32's was checking out with smoke showing, so we knew we had something. We knew we had a working fire. I remember getting off the engine there, and I knew that it was a occupied structure. It was a nice, decent looking from the outside, 1-story white brick home, and pretty heavy smoke coming from the back. So we got off the engine, and we were the second engine in. 32's was in there. It didn't look that bad at first. So I grabbed a pike pole. We had grabbed a second line off their engine, and Lieutenant Merle and Scott Mitchell and I, we headed in, and we went in doing, what we always do. We go in, we put the fire out, we tear some things up, we overhaul, and we go home. Only this time it didn't go that way. It didn't go that smooth. We pulled in there, went inside, and then got back there. Got back pretty deep, and it wasn't that bad, at first until it was, and it got really bad, got really bad quickly, and it got hot. And about that time, I was pulling ceiling, and I remember seeing fire above us, and we were trying to put it out, but we weren't really making any headway on it. And about that time, I heard them come on the radio, and they said, everybody out. We want everybody out. Let's get everybody out. And I turned to Lieutenant Merle, and I said, Lou, they want us out. And so we turned around, and he said, we started heading towards where we thought the front door was. And about that time, I guess they had, what we didn't know, what we found out after the fact, they had done an add-on to the rear of the house. And they had a bunch of voids up there that we weren't aware of. And basically, at the time when we went to turn and go towards the front door, the whole part that was added on in the back just dropped and unhinged all in one big piece. And all the rafters and everything came in, and all that fire that was up there basically lit up that room. And it was, as I've said before, it was fight or flight. And everybody, we talk about when things go south, you're basically on your own at that point. We talk about save yourself, or just everyone was bailing out and trying to get towards the front door or get to where we thought we came in. One of the challenges was the wind was blowing from the Charlie side to the Alpha side and blowing towards the fire, basically, and the smoke towards the front of the house. My lieutenant said he had got all the way almost to the street in the front of the house before he felt like he could take his, stand up, take his mask off. And the delay and the time that it took them to get out and figure out the par, I was in there cooking. And the next thing I know, I'm stuck in a position where I can't move my shoulders. I feel like I'm almost in a closet. I've got fire all around me, and I'm thinking to myself, this is not happening. This is not happening. And I'm thinking to myself at that time, I'm going to die. So I was in a predicament there, obviously, and then basically I was fighting for my life. I'm digging, I'm punching, I'm clawing, I'm climbing. I can't get low enough. You know, there's fire everywhere. I had my hands were burning. I was trying to find that radio to call for a mayday. I'm yelling mayday. I know they're not hearing anything. I can't, you know, and that's when your hands are burning, your fingers are burnt, you know, and you're trying to depress a microphone. You know, it's just, you know, you can say all day long, you know, when you're in these burn building and when everything's a perfect condition, but when things have gone south and you're fighting for your life and you're trying to hit that mic, call for a mayday, I mean, the reality is it's not that easy, you know, and you know, when you're thinking you're going to die, you know, you get in that fight or flight mode, and then I'm not going out like this, and I just started fighting. And so I was looking for, you know, anything I could find to grab, to get through, but I just couldn't find my way to the front door. And I got hung up in a dining room. They had a bunch of different furniture around the walls, table in the middle. Just, you know, these houses, you know how they are. Sometimes they're very cluttered and they're dangerous. And then those are the things that we don't know when you know, the risk we take when we go in. But I got hung up in there and I couldn't get out. And you know, somehow I got to one of the front windows, the far front window, and the guys from 53s happened to be outside that window. One of the guys, David Barber, just happened to see my glove hit that glass and slide down. And you know, at that point, they knew they had done a par. They knew I wasn't out, and they said, you know, Lou said, Chief Stoy, Chief Walker, hey, we don't have Patterson. Patterson's not out. And about that time, they were just starting to get, you know, the RIT team was getting ready to come in, and you know, they were willing to come in there and get me. You know, and I thank God that they didn't have to, because according to everyone or several people that I talked to, you know, when they looked through that front, there was just fire everywhere. You know, what they told me was the time we rolled up, we hit on scene, we grabbed that second line, I got the pike pole, we went in, we got in the back, things went south, everyone was bailing out, I got stuck in there, was cooking in there. They pulled me through that window, that 22-inch window, pulled me out, got me in the ambulance, hauled butt to Parkland, and by the time we got in that ambulance and we're en route to the hospital, it was 13 minutes. So I'm thinking I was probably in there 2-3 minutes max, but you know, it felt like forever. You know, it's when things are when you're hurting and things are going bad like that, it feels like forever. But I think it was probably, you know, 2 to 3 minutes. At that point, you know, when I was in the ambulance, I knew I was hurt. I didn't know how bad it was. I was burned at 48%, predominantly third degree, a little over, right at 40% of those were third degree. I was burned on my hands, my arms, my shoulders, my back, and my flanks on both sides, pretty bad. When I was in the hospital and I was getting ready to have what I thought was the first surgery to use some grafts from my legs onto my back and my arms, I was informed at that time that I had already had 8 surgeries. And I told my wife told me that, and I you know, I kind of lost it at that point because I had no idea that had even happened. You know, it's not something that we ever think is going to happen, but it can, and it's not something that anyone ever wants to go through. I've had 25 surgeries. I'm going in for my 26th surgery to do a scar release to give me some more range of motion on my right shoulder tomorrow. So it's not something that anyone ever really wants to go through, trust me. I was fortunate to survive, and a lot of times it's not the burns that kill you, it's the fungal infection, the pneumonia, things like that, and I had all of it. And the doctor had told my wife that, you know, I went big, you know, so I had all the things that kill you. I was fortunate that I was able to get through, by having the great team there at Parkland, and I believe, God watching over me. It just wasn't my time. I spent 3.5 months in the Parkland Burn ICU. I spent 1 month at Zale Lipsche, basically learning to walk again. And I had been in the bed for so long, and now the grafts that they had taken off my thighs. I basically had lost all the muscle in my legs and really all over my body. I had lost probably 60 pounds being in that hospital bed for that long. So basically, I had to learn to walk again and get my strength back. And it's the wound care and the things that you have to go through are just brutal. It's brutal. You do not want to have to go through it. Trust me. I had to get my cocktails of meds, 30, 45 minutes before every wound care, because it's such a mental issue, and let alone the physical side of it. But it's such a tough deal, and that's something that you definitely don't want to go through, or you really hate to see people go through that. And now some of the challenges I have. I don't regulate my body temperature very well. All the places I was burned, I lost all the ability to sweat. I don't sweat under my armpits. I don't sweat, anywhere else other than on my head and my chest that wasn't burned. So that makes it difficult sometimes in the summer. I always had done things outside, and always been able to, pride myself on being able to do stuff in the heat. And always felt like I was a tough guy, and I felt like I could withstand anything. But now I have certain limitations, and one of them is regulating my body temperature. There's certain moves and certain things I can't do physically anymore. I'm still working on trying to get some of my upper body strength back, but it's just not the same. And that's hard sometimes when you've always been a strong guy and been able to do the things that you wanted to do. Now I have limitations on some of those things, and sometimes it's hard for us as firefighters to deal with. But it's just something that happened, and I'm trying to work through it. I think my message kind of going forward is, I want you guys to be careful. I want you to be smart and recognize that, there are no two fires that are the same. Things can change, whether you're doing everything right or not. But I'm here to tell you, I'm fortunate to be here to be able to talk to you, but I don't want anyone to have to go through what I went through and what my family went through, because it's not something that anyone else should have to go through in this department.